Hello, so today I'm going to talk about how ginkgo trees and cycads are related. So ginkgo trees and cycads are both gymnosperms. Um, Now, basically, they don't share the same order or anything like that. They're not like super closely related, but they are more closely related to each other than anything else. Ginkgos are not closely related to anything, but relative to other plants, ginkgos are more closely related, like on a scale, more closely related to cycads. So here I have this sort of dried, unfortunately damaged ginkgo leaf. As you can see, it's very brittle and some of this got broken off, but you can still see some of the details, which is important for what I'm showing in this video. And so this right here is a scale of a cycad. This holds the seeds in on the so-called fruits, but they're not actually fruits, they're actually seeds. And it's like the part of the cone, basically. This is basically part of like the scale. But anyway, you can see this kind of almost, if you sort of look at this closely, let me get it in the light. Hold on. There you go. You can see it actually kind of resembles a ginkgo leaf in a way, like a dried brown ginkgo leaf. With obviously there's some differences. It's woodier and there's a slightly different shape, but particularly the little veins, little lines you can see running there, look just like a ginkgo leaf. The same sort of shape is the most important thing that I'm trying to show with this, and then how it all converges into this central like stem. It doesn't just, like a normal leaf, it doesn't just like little tiny stem, big leaf. It just slowly converges down into a smaller point with straight parallel veins, just like on this ginkgo leaf, which like I said is damaged, so not the best example, but it's what I had. So you can still see that. You can see how, hold on, how it converges into a parallel point. Now of course the stem is a little bit small, but it still shows it doesn't, like end as abruptly as most leaves do. It's hard because this one's so damaged and dried out, but you can see how the veins are very parallel, and it sort of reminds me of this sort of cycad scale thing. Pretty interesting. And then they funnel down into one central point. So parallel veins, one central point. Both are considered gymnosperms. Some people consider cycads and ginkgos to be conifers. That's kind of a debate. I mean, to me, they're kind of conifers, but whatever. I mean, anyone can have their own opinion on that. Yeah, I mean, they have male and female cones, so, I mean, and they're most closely related to other gymnosperms. So to me, they're basically conifers, but whatever. Anyway, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. You can see how they're kind of somewhat related. Like I said, not closely, but more closely related to each other than they are to any other living plant. Their other closest relatives would obviously be, like I was saying, other like conifers, pine trees, what we call cedars here in the U.S., but is actually Thuja occidentalis. California redwoods, stuff like that. Yeah, dawn redwoods. Those are all conifers. But these two, ginkgo and cycads, are way more closely related to each other than they are to those plants. But compared to everything else, they're more closely related to those other plants I just mentioned than they are to, say, a strawberry plant or an apple plant or whatever. pretty interesting to learn the evolutionary relationships. I just wanted to show this because I thought this was really interesting.